PM-1 um, by accident. Well, I wasn't really tracking. I was just trying to be supportive of other teammates, and I still only I ended up being the last one fighting off three guys. Two of them succumbed to base defenses. Did the last guy, did he die? Nope. Run out of tickets before he would die because he took damage trying to strafe me around my base. I had just taken off. His teammate tried to do it and died, and I guess I wasn't aware that both of them were on me. The other one, I saw him after his teammate had died, and he tried to take a swipe at me. I juked, and he took damage, and he was flying away when I got waylaid by this guy in a zero, and he finished me off. But I mean, he died in the process, and they won the match. But I mean, it's not really saying much when all three of your teammates, I guess two of the three, can't kill me. So there's that. Hold on a second. Let me check my widgets real quick. Okay, they're working. I always check my widgets because that gives me an indication if there's something wrong with the stream. But yes, I got 5 kills. We'll look at the stats here. 5 air targets destroyed, 4 critical hits. I landed once. I took off twice. 96% activity, so I wasn't just sitting around. Since we failed the mission, we didn't get the additional huge bonuses, but still we got 74,000 plus silver lions and 16,000 plus RP. We got Terror of the Sky, Shadow Strike Streak times 5, Professional times 5. The match was a half an hour long, or right under. With the raw score 34-18, highest between both teams. The next highest person to get the, I guess the next highest set of kills was the Noob G guy. He was level 100. I had been watching him, and at one point I was chasing him. Look at this. So he's not exactly upside down in his planes, and I'm not sure if this was what he killed me with. It may well have been. So this was a good guy. So we killed a P-38. We killed a B-17. I don't know what we'll see this in a minute because we're gonna replay the battle. But I was at a level to where he should have been very competitive, but he was doing the wrong shit. Uh, he basically was derping in front of me. I don't know if he was trying to get me to overshoot, but there was no way I was going to overshoot. Um, I ended up damaging this guy, and then left him alone to try and kill this guy. He had just killed my teammate, so I made sure I killed him. Both of them were stalling out in front of me, but I had already raped this guy a little bit beforehand. So I killed this guy, and it was extending away because this guy, I didn't know if he had a gun solution on me. Um, on the way from extending out, this guy cut in front of me, and I don't know if he was doing that on purpose to play gunship, but it didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I was heading to base to get more ammo. I was running short. I could have, I could have, I could have stayed up, but then I looked at my fuel and I had 8 minutes left. And of course, when I was getting ready to land, this guy succumbed to the damage that I dealt him. So that was 5 there. I could have stayed up for another 7 minutes. I gave up altitude to land, and that's what got me in trouble. You know, I could have you know, I thought about just quitting and going to hangar since I had gotten my ace, but I didn't want to do that either. So what ended up happening was that I was climbing and I was using, because I knew that they were going to try and find me. The first thing people do when people disappear and there's only one left is they go and check the bases. I had just taken off and I was just waiting for them. I was still trying to climb to gain altitude in case they didn't, but yeah, all three of them tried to dogpile on me, and they got me, but not before two of their teammates died to the wait a minute, there was one, yep, not before two of the three that were left died due to my base's defenses. As well, where's the other guy at, the other solo guy? Does it show him taking damage? It does not, but he damn sure took some damage. But yeah, it was fun. So we got a half an hour long, and happy Friday, everyone. Just wanted to say that. And we should be right under 100 kills. So this plane is about to join our 100 kill club. It's at 99. So currently we have 46 or 68 battles in this plane. We've killed 99 times, or killed 99 air targets, and died 31 times. So not too bad, considering that I usually don't do well in this plane. This is the first time I've gotten an ace in it. So the plan here, we'll pause it. Took off here, and I'm using this buffer, since we have two air bases, to try and climb. And you know, just kind of linger. Don't just fly into the middle of the map. Sometimes side climbing isn't good enough, because you don't want to side climb like this because it takes you too far away from the battle. So what I was doing was kind of cutting through here, just kind of lingering and climbing, but not trying to merge just yet. So it gives me time to climb, right? So we're climbing. Start seeing guys showing up over there. You can see the majority of them are here. So I'm just climbing now. I don't have a, other than that, I don't have a game plan. I'm hoping as people get closer to me, I can focus on one, and I begin to focus on him, but I don't, you know, I spent all this time climbing. I didn't want to waste that time and effort only to be bounced by someone who sees me dive down. He dives down, and he actually stays with me for a bit, and I think he actually stayed to see how the battle would play out. And you'll see, now I'm watching this guy and this guy. So I switched from this guy, I was watching him, and then I switched to him. I was paying attention to him, especially since his the marker disappeared. He will be my first kill. And then I start looking at the B-17. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's trying to play gunship. That might be the guy that I killed toward the end. So I don't know what he's doing. I guess he might have got caught out, but he would have been better. He would have done better if he would have dove. Look how close that B-17 is. So I'm trying to see what he's doing. I'm watching him. And he lingers for quite a bit. So now I'm watching. There's a dot right there. And I thought he was coming this way. But then as you look at it, it looks like it's headed toward base. So someone took damage, or it's a bomber or something. So that B-17 is still lingering. I'm going to speed it up here. We cut into him to see what he does. He might be trying to line up for that base that we're right above. There's two of them. Now I'm looking at the grouping of those guys there. And at this point, let's pause it a second. Most of my team is gone already. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 of us left, including my in-game squad mate. I don't think he actually gets a kill. He might. And I'm not even sure. Is he cannon equipped? None of the BF-109s are cannon equipped. So I'm watching the Zero because I already checked his level. You know, sometimes looking at levels gives a good indication of what type of fight you might be in for. And sometimes if you kind of, you know, if you got the time, you could look at their plane stats and get an idea, you know, of how well they're going to play a particular plane. So if we look over here, where's he at? That one we saw earlier when we sorted through, sorted by kill, air targets destroyed, that is the plane that he's flying. So that's his favorite plane. So that's something I wasn't aware of until now. So we'll go back to our plane here, and let's minimize these and then resume. So now I'm diving down on both of those guys. In the game, let's see if it does it here. I do believe the Zero, I lose the marker for him. But I was hoping both the markers would, okay, maybe I got it backwards. I was hoping both of the markers would disappear. That means they wouldn't see me, but that wasn't the case. So the guy in the P-63, he kind of dips. He knows he's in a bad position, and there's my teammate as well. And there's a shitload of other enemy pilots out there too. So I'm watching him, but now I'm focused on him. And this guy's kind of wily. I can never really get the angle. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to establish a pattern where we could both double team this guy. So I'm kind of waiting until this guy is ready, and it looks like he's flying off. I should have typed something in chat. I don't know why he ran away like that, because it kind of messed me up. With Zeros, if you have someone to kind of play against, you could double team them, and so, you know, it kind of negates the Zero pilot tactics. You know, if I would have dove on him, he would have dove down, split S, and they accelerate very well. So whereas, you know, I might have caught him at a slow moment, it just takes a couple of seconds for that plane to be on your tail. And, you know, whereas before he was on your tail, he was in an energy deficit. All of a sudden he has energy from nowhere, you know. So kind of got to be careful with the Zeros. So now these guys are back. So wasted time here. We're chasing them down, and I'm looking at this dot here, and I was calling it out. I didn't know what it was, but if we can see it this far, more than likely it's a bomber, and I do believe it was a B-17 that had just taken off. He's going to pass right under us, and I'm going to be looking at him, but I don't want to give up the altitude. I never got a confirmation on what it was, but it looked like a bomber. And let's change view here. Use the pilot view. Kind of going over here, and we're slowly reeling this guy in. At first I thought that he was dragging us. He might have been dragging us. You know, without voice comms, it's very difficult to kind of sync a coordinated attack. And so what's going to happen is these two guys are going to commit, and I'm not going to know exactly what they're doing. And it's going to take me a while to get to them and help them. And because of that, I think one or both of those guys die. That's why when I'm trying to fly with someone and we don't have voice comms, I not only watch the enemy, I watch what my teammates are doing. That's why I didn't commit earlier to that 0, because I didn't want to do it alone, because I knew that guy, he was flying pretty savvy. And look at him, he's like under, and so this guy, he's extending away. I see it, but the 0 is close to me, and so I kind of pull up a bit, and now I'm going to try to dive down. My teammate's already diving down though, so you don't want to be both diving down at the same time. So now I'm diving down, but I knew that he wasn't probably going to get a shot. So now is the time for me to try and go down there. But I also noticed this. I'm going down, he's stalling under me, and we're near their auxiliary base. So I'm like, let's not go down there. So I pull up, and these guys start going down there. And so I'm at this point where I was like, should I go down there too? Sometimes if you have multiple planes down there, it kind of confuses the AAA. So I decided to try and go down there and make a run on this B-17. B-17 sees me and looks like he's trying to cut under me, and he must be going pretty damn fast, and so am I at this point. So I'm like, you know what? He's giving me a good profile. I touch him, and I kill him. But then I'm looking dead in front of me, and I'm like, holy shit. And I saw this guy, and I did not get a chance to check, because he keeps popping up. So he's level 98. I'm not sure what his favorite plane is. It's not showing here, unless that's it. Not sure. That plane, I'm trying to figure out if the plane that he's flying is the plane that appears to be in his top 20 planes. So it is. There it is right there. So I'm going pretty fast here, and when it's let's see, when this plane is this fast or getting into the 700 kph, it gets stiff. So I didn't realize he got that close. He did not take a shot at me. I didn't see the wyvern there, but the wyvern needs to be careful. Okay, he's diving back down again. He's going to get eventually caught because there's a dot coming right there. There it is. So it's P-51 there, and then there's another one. So at this point, I decide I don't want to play near their base. I'm not paying attention, and it looks like the P-61 was coming back, but there's someone else. I thought I heard something. Oh, it's these bot planes. So now I'm focused on him, and he's gonna turn around when he sees me. So he's smart enough. And so now it's like I'm like torn. I was like, what do I do? I can make a run on him, but again, I don't want to, I played it good thus far, being up in altitude. Being up in altitude gives you a bit of leeway, right? So I'm watching him still, and he's going to start strafing targets. I'm not sure if it'll show in the... Yeah, there you go. And so now I'm over here. I did not realize he was smoking until just now. So he probably took damage over here. And so this P-51 is focused on him. And I called him out. So this guy is going to kind of drag him my way. And the thing is, I got confused. I thought he was trying to force a head on. And I took a shot here. Wasted some ammo. And now he's aware. His back was to me, so I could have waited. So I had damaged him, I believe. And I pull off because I noticed that the Key 61 is coming. And whenever I do that, I try and highlight the person that's coming to intervene, so that I can at least let him know, hey, you need to break off your attack. Don't get fixated, because he could be on your tail. They could be dragging and bagging. So now both of them are stalled in front of me, and I don't know which one to pick. I've decided to pick the higher one. Key 61 is not as tanky. Damage him. I didn't realize his wing was ripped. And this guy, I could have taken out that P-51 as well. And he's running. That's the one that I put rounds into. He's not going to make it back. He either isn't going to make it back, or he's going to crash and not be able to recover. So here's the other guy. He's trying to play gunship. I take my time, make sure I finish him off in one shot. That way he can't take shots at me when I'm extending away. So now I believe there's 3. Okay, he hasn't succumbed yet. So there's only me and another teammate left. They're too far for me to go and get. So he's too far for me to go and assist. But 1, 2, they have 4 teammates left. One is going to succumb. But at this point, I'm kind of looking at my my fuel state. I still have a somewhat decent amount of ammo. There was no way in the world I could, when I saw him, there's nowhere in the world I could see him. And of course he dies soon after that. There was no way in the world I couldn't kind of make a snapshot judgment and say, well, I'm going to go and help him, because he was way too far out. I guess he was trying to outrun the guy, but you don't outrun P-51. Well, if you're in the wrong energy state, you're not going to be able to outrun a P-51. So, did that guy die yet? He did not. Still got 4 kills. 0 is right there. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, well, I pop a okay, so the other guy died. So now we have our ace. But what I did was I popped an order so that they wouldn't be able to use like an Avenger or a Blind Hunt. But he semi knows where I'm at. And so my first thought was that, okay, as long as they can't find me, I could probably outclimb that 0. But I know that there was a P-63 out there as well, and I probably wasn't gonna outclimb him or outdive him. And plus, there's a P-51 out there, and I'm tracking because I look in the battle log from time to time when I'm gaming, so that I can see, look at the kill log, and you can see what someone's flying. So I took the time and I took note of all 3 of the enemy planes that were left and what they were flying, so that I can kind of determine, okay, how should I be flying. So at this point, I know that if I spend all of my time, my 8 minutes of fuel climbing, it's not going to make a bit of difference, because the P-63 is probably going to catch me, and I won't be able to dive and outrun him. and I don't want to dogfight with the zero. So at this point, it's like, well, I got my ace. Maybe I should just land and end the match, because I got what I'd been looking for all year long, and it was an ace with this plane, right? But I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens first. They don't know where I'm going. They can't see me. I can at least have a chance to land, and when I'm on the ground, I can decide what I want to do. So instead of picking that base, I picked this one because I'm not sure if there's a difference in fortifications here. They both look to have the same amount of AAA emplacements. But I picked the furthest one away, right? In hindsight, I could have, I should have just quit the match. It was a loss, but I know some people, Jengar, he always says, this is how you're tested. I'm like, you know what? I see this shit all the time where there's usually one or two people left trying to fight off 5 or 6 other guys, and I don't want to be tested like that all the time. I'm tested enough. Um, in some cases, I can end up dominating, uh, but on the average, I end up wasting a plane. So a lot of times, what I'll do is, instead of going through that effort and being frustrated, so that guy's coming quickly. Watch, it'll change to 21. You can tell he's coming. Uh, so what I do is, a lot of times if I find myself the only one left, I don't want to make the effort. I've done it already. I don't want to make the effort to try and win. Um, I get tired of that type of gameplay, so a lot of times I just land and I go to hangar. So now I'm deciding what to do, and I end up wasting a shitload of time in trying to decide, and eventually I decide to take off, but it puts me at a huge disadvantage because I'm just taking off, and this guy has a lot of energy. He's fast, and he's up in the sky. So basically, what I end up doing is I have to stay in my I have to stay under AAA coverage. I'd be a fool to do otherwise. And of course, unbeknownst to me, I should have assumed that they would all be somewhat close together. Um, of course they are, but still, I mean, the footage is there. And I know where he is. Here I am activating another order, and there's the dot there. I don't see the dot in game, but I see where the tracers are, and I know that he's somewhere up there, and eventually the marker shows. So I'm still climbing, and I've got a decent amount of altitude, but nothing to dogfight with or energy fight. So at this point, I try and turn into him. Don't give him really time to think. Just turn into him to close the distance. Force him to kind of make a decision. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna make a run for me under AAA cover or what? So he does not, but I think he's dragging me here. He's close enough to where the his teammates can see me, and I'm not sure if they're gonna show up here. Where are they at? Wow. He's at 7,400 meters. And there I am right there. And a 0, wow, he climbed up high too. So they probably already knew I was here. So we'll watch it from this guy's view. And here he comes. And I don't see any of these guys. So P-63 is a fast diver, but it locks up pretty good. So he's playing it ballsy here. He's going really fast. So the other guys to come to the base. Whoa, that was close. Ah, doesn't show where he was damaged. But he's blowing fuel and black smoke. And there's a 0 there. We're gonna. And by this time, I see him, but there's nothing really I could do here. We can take a look and see, because he's a 0, so he stalls and I know he's got to take damage soon. So I'm sitting here, I'm trying to stall it as much as possible, and there you go, he takes damage, and it looks like he might have taken some type of control damage because he can't pull out, but he gets me anyways. So we go back to the other guy. And there goes the tickets. And they win. But that played out as cooler than what I normally experience in this plane. At least this time around, I didn't almost hit the ground because I was going too fast. Once you get around the 700 kph range, it becomes very difficult to pull out of a dive. Normally what I do is, if you pop flaps, it's not going to work. If you get out of the throttle, eventually drag is going to slow you down. But you better not be pitched down like 0 degrees or anything like that, because if that's the case, you're gonna be done. So as well, we might have been using a booster when yeah, we were using a 15% booster in that game. So yeah, good game. So we got our ace, but I call it an unclean ace. Anytime I lose a plane to get the ace, even if it's after the fact that I got the ace, I consider it unclean. Anytime you die during that match, it kind of sullies things a little bit. So maybe we can fly this out again and try and get that clean ace. But anyways, it's a good start to the weekend. I'm gonna go and get myself a beer or a coffee or something, or maybe both, and go sit out on my patio and kind of rest a bit. It's been a long week. All right, bye bye.